right, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a day of reflection and future. So with that said, let's get into it.
Bring in the holidays. You're watching Villages and More.
Okay, so I wanted to come on here and first off, happy holidays. It has been one heck of a year. We have done so much, and I want to talk about where we've been this past year and where we're going in 23. So I have a lot to cover, so I'm just going to kind of cut right to it here. Let's start with where we have been. And I'm going to be glancing over here because I have notes. So here we go. So far in 22, as we close out the year, we have beat our record both in viewership and in subscriptions. Both of those are tremendously up from the year previous. And that is just awesome. You know, we have built this channel together, myself, you, through communication, through views, through subscriptions, through sharing, through anything and everything. And that is just really, the speed has blown me away. I've told you 100 times how grateful I am and that it has never gone unnoticed, and that has not changed tonight. And yes, it's literally nighttime at the moment. So anyway, so here we go. We have picked up, like I said, loads of subscribers. We're actually beginning the journey now towards 1,000 subscribers. We're at 760, 761, somewhere right there right now as of tonight of filming. That's crazy considering where we started, yet one, right? So to begin that journey now and starting to hear people, talk about it is really a reason, guys, to just share that gratitude again with you. We still have a long ways to go, and I know that, but I'm hoping as we get towards the end of 23, who knows, we may be celebrating 1,000 subscribers. What we will do for that, I have no idea because I never even dreamed of something like that, but we'll see what happens if we get there. So another thing we have done this year is we became a Limax influencer, which means I was able to bring you guys early releases of the upcoming houses and figures and table accessories ahead of store shelves to ultimately help you guys guide your purchases. Doesn't do anything for me. I get nothing in return for, you buying something. It was more about giving you guys the knowledge, especially in the crazy time where going out was a little hectic still, things like that in the world, so it gave you a better idea of things you might be interested in. So that was huge for me. I hope that it helped you guys as well. The viewership seemed to reflect that as well, and all of your comments and feedback. It seemed to be a big hit for all of us, including myself, of course. I have always been a huge fan of Limax. You know this. And so to be able to team up with them and bring you that kind of content, especially early, was just really icing on the cake for this year. Also, we have uploaded over 60 videos this year. That's right, 60 plus actually. I just kind of lost count, around 60 for the year. As you know, they come out every single Friday, but then during the season, I think I was releasing like 2 videos a week for a certain period of time and started experimenting with shorts, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But nonetheless, we've done a lot of content, some videos longer than others, but nonetheless, I really try to dig in and give you all the specs, every little detail possible, which sometimes creates long videos, but you get what I'm saying. So 60 videos, super proud of that. And again, your feedback has kept me going, and I'm hoping we can do that, if not more, in the upcoming year. As far as shorts, I did start experimenting with that this year just to kind of fill it out, learn how it works, and see if there was anything that it could add to our channel. And in that little experiment, I did some sneak peeks, things like that. It brought an additional 2,500 people by our channel. That's crazy for shorts. These things are like seconds long, and people really seem to enjoy that. So we're going to look at developing that as we talk more about the future. Also, lastly, in 22, I think we also improved on the continuity of the channel, whether that be consistent thumbnails, structures of videos, layouts of videos, all that kind of stuff. When you think of Villages and More, I want it to fit like an old glove. So as the content may change as far as what house we're reviewing or something like that, I want the feel of the video to be the conversation that we've had from day one, like an old friend, So I really think that the continuity is going to be important for the brand long term, but nonetheless, I think we've definitely in 22 improved that. So those are kind of some of the notes on 22. There was a lot more, but I'm trying to narrow it down to really focus on where we're going. But I wanted to give you a few highlights of where we've been. So with that said, let's talk about the future. 2023 is literally about to be here. We're going to count our way into what I wish for you to be a beautiful, beautiful year, full of love, smiles, whatever your world dreams of. I hope it can be yours. But for the little piece of it that I get to share with you here on my channel, let's talk about where we're going. So as far as the schedule, I'm hoping to maintain every Friday for the foreseeable future. I still have a pretty decent sized backstock of houses that I've yet to review. And of course, I'm always trying to pick up some here or there when I can afford to. But nonetheless, I think we still have a decent amount to continue to come out with every Friday, not including any new houses we may pick up in the year. So foreseeable future, the schedule should maintain the same. And if that changes, I will let you know at that point. But for now, every Friday, foreseeable future, midnight, you can count on it. There will be a new video for you. Now I want to talk about shorts. So I know the shorts are kind of a new thing, and there's a lot of people out there that are way more ahead on that whole thing than I am, and I'm not super tech savvy or anything like that. You know, I try my best for you guys, of course, as always. But the more I got feedback from you guys, the more people seemed to like it and want it. I started to come up with ideas on how I can incorporate that into our channel, and could it add anything? So here's what I came up with. You know, I came up with a bunch of ideas and different things, tossed most of it out, and kind of settled on this. So on my channel, I've always been the place for you to come and find in-depth reviews. That is the heart of what we do here, and that will not change. I'm not going to change things up on you and just veer off from what we've built. We've built on something that started one way and will continue to be one way, with added bonuses and evolvement, of course, if that's a word. But we will evolve, but we will always fit that same old glove as far as you can depend on a Friday to come in and get what you expect from this channel. However, with shorts and having all these long form videos that we normally do every Friday, what about the people that don't have the time to go super in depth on a house, or don't care about the specs of a house, or kind of new to villaging and just want to kind of peek their way into it and take little baby steps, whatever it is, or you're at the store and you want to make a quick decision on what to buy and you're just kind of teetering and you want to watch something real quick. So then it hit me. What about if we have our normal reviews, long form reviews, specs, close-ups, the whole thing. We walk the whole thing. But then also we start experimenting with like 1 minute wrap reviews or something like that, where basically you release a short, and in the short we will cover a couple of like the main spec points that you absolutely have to know, some quick overviews of what I think of the house, some images, our video in this case, and that's it. Just quick, easy. You don't have the time to watch the whole thing, or you just don't care about a super in-depth video. You want something short, sweet. That's where this could come in for us. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it'll be on every single house, but I'm definitely going to start, slowly incorporating that and seeing what people think. And hopefully between myself and you and communication, we can develop that idea. But the initial idea is going to be like a 1 minute wrap, the house, a couple important things that you have to know, my overall thoughts, some visuals, that's it. There's definitely a group of folks there that could use some quick, easy content that they can just scroll through real quick, check on the house that they want, see what the overall main points were, and be done with it. Next thing, a little controversial. Again, my speech is just on a whole new level today. But anyways, a little controversial is for the beginning of time of my channel, I've always taken a mic and recorded the sound that the house makes at the end so you can hear the soundtrack. I've done that on every single video I've ever released. But what happened was, as time went on, I noticed that the microphone doesn't always give you the true image of what it actually sounds like in person. And in some cases, it actually took away from what the house sounded like. So then, over this past so many months, I decided, well, let me try experimenting with the actual audio from the Macs overlaid on the house so you can actually hear the soundtrack itself. And people seemed to like it. They could understand it. It was a lot cleaner. It looked good. Everything fit. But then a couple folks made some really good points, like, that sounds crystal clear, sounds amazing, but what does the actual house sound like? So I was back in the same boat again. So in the coming year for 23, I will be A-Bing these at the end of videos. So when I do a new video for 23 that has a soundtrack, we'll do all the normal stuff, and at the end, when we hit the lights and you get to, see and hear the piece in all its glory, there'll be a portion of that will be microphone, so you can hear what the microphone is picking up, and hopefully it'll be as clear as possible. And then there'll be the overlay with the actual soundtrack, just like you hear on the Lamax website. The more knowledge I can give you and as transparent as possible, that is my biggest thing, is transparency, then hopefully that will help bring you to even cleaner, clearer decisions. So we'll be A-Bing in the future here in 23, so you can get the best of both worlds, hopefully make everybody happy, and be as transparent as possible. Next up will be improving the visual side of my videos. So I want to make these videos as professional as possible. I have always strived to make clean reviews that get to the important stuff, but show you all the little stuff in between, right? And a lot of that is visual, but sometimes cameras can be stagnant if there's not too much going on. So I started experimenting with shots that move along the house, which people seem to really like, and a little more captivating, and I want to improve on that. So over the course of 23, you're going to start seeing some more visually pleasing shots and things like that of these houses. I also have a couple other things in the works to improve the overall content as well. But I want to make sure that the visual side of this is as transparent as possible. And if I can get these shots that are moving around and capturing more and more of these houses, I can give you more and more information. So look for 23 to have even better quality videos. Next up, I want to branch out a little more as well. So just to be clear here, villaging will always be the heart of this channel. However, in the off season, even though there's still lots of houses for me to review and all that kind of stuff, we're still going to do all that. I want to branch out a little bit and review other things and show you other things and maybe introduce you to things that you would have never thought about using. Still all tying into the holiday feel. For instance, we could be reviewing pumpkins that light up, or we could fog machines, or, whatever, just different holiday items, things that I've used both in the haunted house world and just in home decorating. It could be Ashland products, which is a Michael's line of holiday items, things like that. I want to branch out a little more, just more of a sprinkle, if you will. We're just going to kind of sprinkle it in throughout the year, but I want to have other content as well, because it is villages and more, and that more part does mean something. We've kind of done it a little bit off and on, experimented a couple other things, but I want to kind of focus in a little bit when we sprinkle that in, have a little more of a focus on what that would look like. Of course, we always like repair videos, and reviews will always be what we do, village reviews. I can't say that enough. That is that old glove. But from time to time, I'd like to experiment a little bit, and we'll kind of tone that in based on your guys' feedback as well. People, when they send a message like, hey, can you review this, or let us know about this thing or the other, we'll kind of fill it in. With my channel, it's always been a very creative place, so I don't put limits on things. I just want to be focused on things as well. So a little bit of a balance there, but we're definitely going to be branching out, but just a little bit. As far as first looks for 23, I am so grateful, as you know, for the relationship that I've built with Lamax. And as of where we stand today, everything has been just a real blessing. I mean, I am just beyond, still even till this day, shocked to be able to have the opportunity to work with them like we did this year. And as of today, everything is still great, and I'm hoping that continues through 23, because bringing you those first looks is really awesome, and it's exciting for me as a collector as well, just on a personal note. So hopefully everything continues there, but we'll know more about that, hopefully in the coming months. But for tonight, we're just grateful for the opportunity that they gave us here in 22. As we get to the end of this video here, there are some videos that are in the vault, stuff that I recorded throughout the past year or so, and they just kept getting pushed back. They're done and uploaded. They've just been pushed back for new content, or when the Lamax stuff came in, I jumped right to that and pushed everything else aside. They're mostly reviews. I think there might be a repair or two in there as well. So I'm hoping in the first month or so of 23, unless something immediately changes here, to get out a couple of those. I want to sprinkle those in, especially as I start filming the new videos and with the kind of these new updates and stuff like that we're talking about. This will allow me a little time to kind of finesse that, and so to be able to get some of the stuff out of the vault will be great because it gets a lot of stuff that I worked hard on out to you, a lot of reviews out to you, and it allows me a little time to develop a little bit more focused on these new reviews that are coming your way. Next up, I want to continue to build on the continuity of the channel and the brand. You know, I've said it quite a few times already. There's this thing about an old glove that is just so important here. When you come to this channel, I want you to know what to expect, get surprised sometimes, but nonetheless, I want it to be that just place where you can go, leave everything else behind, enjoy yourself, take in the review, communicate with me, help make the channel better, because again, your feedback is everything, but have consistency. You know, I want there to be some kind of map that you can bet on for when you come to this channel, what you're going to get, what you can expect, and I want to be able to deliver on that every single time. So my best efforts will always be in, but I will be continuing to build on that image, that brand, and most importantly, that content. So, you know, whether that be something simple like thumbnail consistency, or something more important like video layouts or something like that. You know, I want it to have that feel, that consistent feel. It might be a different product, but the conversation is that easygoing conversation that we've always had in every single video. So look for that to continue building and develop and expand. Next up, I want to add the weight spec into our spec list and kind of maybe even expand the spec list a little more on these longer form videos, especially because we're going to be doing some short videos as well, the short reviews that we talked about earlier. So when we do these deeper dives on our main reviews, I try to cover as much as possible. And I think the weight one is important. So we're going to be adding that in. That's just a little side note. And any other specs that you guys want to know, please let me know. We can add those into, you know, I kind of just been expanding that a little more and a little more because look, these reviews are deep dives. These aren't just summed up thoughts. These are deep dive reviews. So something like the weight, I think, is important. Okay, and to end here, as far as a timeline on some of these changes, really all these changes, is going to be in the first few months or so of 23. You know, the first month or so, I'd like to get out some of the older content to make room for the new content, which I'm talking about the content in the vault, which is really new content. It's never came out. But anyways, I want to get through some of those reviews. Like I said, you know, tone in some of this new style stuff. So look for that to slowly start rolling out in the first coming months of 23. And hopefully by the, you know, maybe about 4 months or so in, we'll have a good rhythm going. But I'm looking for the first 2 to 3 months to kind of be the window where you start to see these visual changes and things like that. But again, I want to get out some of these older reviews as well. So change is coming, but we're going to roll them out slowly, you know, and we're never going to abandon what is important to us. And that is village reviews, focusing on villaging. This is a place of villaging, a place of creativity, and most of all, a place where me and you get to sit down and talk villaging. People have been asking about maybe doing some live stuff as well along the way, some questioning and answering, all that kind of stuff. We'll look at that. Maybe that's how we'll celebrate 1,000 subscribers or something. I don't know. But for now, you know, we're focused on just making good content. Like I said, I'm going to get better and better at trying to figure out new and faster ways to get back to you guys with your questions and answers and all that kinds of things. I'll always be reading your feedback. And most importantly, if there's anything you take away from this video tonight, thank you. This has been a ride like no other. It's been a safe place for me to go and just be creative, which a lot of people will never get the chance to do. And I feel so honored to be able to do that. It's a real big deal to me. And I truly, truly appreciate all of your support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you all in 23. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And until next time, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.